and welcome to Love Chat with the Love Twins. I'm Gladys Diaz. I'm so excited to be here with you today to talk about another important topic. And I always say this, but the reason we know it's important is because you actually asked us for it. So this is probably, we're going to talk about different types of challenges around this that you might be experiencing, but the topic is boundaries under pressure. How is it that you stand strong when dating, the experiences that you're having with dating challenges your standards, or you feel like you're like something is pressing up against you and your standards? So why is this important? Because obviously, if you feel like your standards are, or like you're not honoring your standards, or somebody else isn't honoring your standards, then it's really very easy to start to feel resentful, to start to feel pressured, to start to feel like dating is something that you want to avoid. And we don't want dating to be something that you want to avoid, because how in the world, how else are you going to easily attract someone who is a right match for you? And when we say he's a right match for you, that means he's a match for your standards, for your vision, for your boundaries. We're going to distinguish between standards and boundaries and actual expectations of what somebody else needs to do. So this is a really important conversation. If you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, use that little arrow somewhere that's on your screen, whatever device you're on, that's recommending that you share this, or it's allowing you to share this, because the reason why this is an important topic, and we know it is, I actually have, I'm looking over here in front of me. Every time that we have an event, we have calls with our group calls with our clients, or private calls with our clients. One of the first questions that we ask is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're experiencing when it comes to dating, to relationships? And I will tell you that very often, and if I were to give it a percentage, I would say pretty close to 90% of the time, there is something around standards and boundaries, right? So right now, let me just ask you, I see Donna and Teresa and a few others of you here with us today. So let me ask you, what are some of the challenges that you experience when you're dating that feels like it's pressing, like it's pushing up against your standards, your boundaries, and it feels uncomfortable? Go ahead and put that in the chat, in the comments, so that I can be using real world examples. It doesn't make any sense or make any difference if we're talking about something that doesn't matter to you, that you feel doesn't pertain to you, that's not important to you. So let me give you all a few seconds, because I know it takes Facebook there's a little bit of a delay. And then also, if you are on YouTube, you can absolutely put your comments there, and any questions that you have, we'll come back and we will absolutely answer your questions, or come join us on Facebook is the easiest way, because that way we can actually see your comments in real time. So let me see very quickly. I'm checking a few places here, because I want to make sure I'm looking in the right place. Give me just a second. And keep those comments coming so that I can be looking. Okay, let me see who. It seems like I never have time. And I think you meant because of my work, like you never have time. So how does that bump up against your boundaries, right? Donna, you're saying you can't find any. So this is what I'm saying. Like sometimes there's very unique situations, but most of the ladies that we're talking to are saying the same thing. But I hear that. So listen to my question, Donna. I'm going to address all the other things. The question is, what are the challenges that you're facing in dating that you feel are not aligned with your boundaries and your standards? Okay, so I definitely hear that you want trust, communication, and love. Are you saying that you're not finding that? But then you're telling me you can't find anyone, but you don't have time to date. So I want to make sure that I'm listening, that I'm hearing what you're actually saying. And so Teresa's saying expressing the boundaries. So what boundaries? Guys, work with me here. Throw me a bone. So for example, if one of your values, right, is around respect, and one of the things that you know is true for you is that you do not want to rush into or have physical intimacy with someone until you're in at the very least an exclusive relationship, meaning neither one of you, and he's saying it, you're not asking him, you're not hinting, you're not nagging, you're not begging. He's saying, I don't want to date anybody else. I only want to see you. And then you choose to make the same agreement. Um, if that's one of your boundaries, that's a personal boundary. That's, I choose not to become physically intimate with someone until I am in an exclusive relationship. For some ladies, it's until I'm in a committed relationship. For some ladies, it's until I'm engaged. And for some ladies, it's until I'm married. So that is a personal boundary. That's a personal standard that we sometimes hear women saying feels like it's not being, like that's not something that they're able to say, or they feel, I don't want to give you the answers. It's really important that if you're here, that your voice matters, and you can tell I'm paying attention, right? So, Deb, what is a boundary, a standard that you feel is that you're challenged with in dating? So I hear that you're attracting the wrong people. Of those people, think about your standards and your boundaries and share with me. Like, this is an actual coaching. Like, this isn't just a show. I know we say it's our weekly show, but it's important to Michelle and me that we're talking about what you're experiencing. And if nobody's experiencing the challenge where they feel like somebody is wanting to become physically intimate very early on, I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about what you are experiencing. So Teresa's saying yes, exactly that one. So I will talk about it. Everybody else, think about it. What's something, I'm not just talking about a general challenge that you're having in dating. When you're out there, what do you feel is challenging your standards, your values, your boundaries? That's the actual full question. I know there's many different challenges you may be having, but this is the one we're talking about today. Okay, so I'm guessing that you're saying that you agree with Teresa. So everybody else, make sure that you are answering the question. Maybe it would help if somebody would put it in the chat so that people know the question that I'm asking, especially when they come back for, if you're watching this on the replay, you get to answer the questions too, because we do see your answers. So what is a standard, a boundary, a value that you have that you feel it's challenging to stand up for that? It's challenging to stand by your value. It's challenging to stand by that boundary. That's what today's topic is. Okay, that's what today's topic is all about. Because if you're feeling that your boundaries are under pressure, that means that you're not sure, how do I stand strong? I know this is important to me. I don't want to sell out on myself. I don't want to do something because I feel pressured to do it. And the physical intimacy isn't the only thing that women talk about. Like you see there in the chat, and I just read them out loud because I know that some people are listening to this while they're doing something else, is the wanting to become exclusive too quickly, or wanting to get off of the dating app. That's another one that we hear a lot. They want to get off of the dating app very quickly. They don't want to see anybody else, or for you to see anybody else very quickly. That can feel like pressure. Okay, so I apologize if I wasn't being clear. Now I'm going to start jumping into the content. So let's start with the feeling. Like, we'll start from the beginning. So let's say that you're on the dating app, and you're, again, assuming that one of your values is respect, assuming that a pattern that you're trying to break, maybe a pattern that you're wanting to break, is not getting too attached too quickly to someone. So you're on the dating app and you've just had maybe 2 or 3 chats back and forth, and all of a sudden the guy is telling you, hey, can you give me your number so I can call you? I want to call you on the phone. And you have gotten the coaching from the Love Twins that it's better to stay on the dating app for a little while. Why do we say about a week? Because first of all, you're giving yourself time. Especially if one of your patterns is to rush into things, then you get to break the pattern first by taking it slow and saying, you know what? I prefer to communicate a little bit longer on the app before I give someone my phone number. Your phone number is a piece of personal information that everybody on this planet does not need to have, right? If you're a business, right? If you have a business, get an alternate phone number because the whole world doesn't need your phone number, right? And so why is that important? It goes back to being a high value woman. Somebody who values herself, who holds her, and I'm not talking about being conceited or arrogant or any of those things. That you value yourself, you value your time, you value who you spend time with. A woman who is high value does not give her phone number to any old person that she doesn't know. She also doesn't rush into going on a date with somebody that she hasn't taken time to get to know. Because if you value your time and you value who you are and you value who you spend time with, then it warrants taking a little bit of time to get to know the person before you decide to have a 1 hour coffee date or a 2 or 3 hour dinner date. It's about you, right? And your value. So that would be an example of telling the person, I would rather stay on the app for a little while. Now, what if he says, yeah, but I'm not on the app very often. I would so much rather, I don't come in here and it's just too hard and it's too cumbersome. A lot of women will say, oh, he's being pushy. He's pressuring me. He's not respecting me. He's not respecting what I just said. And perhaps he just really doesn't like being on the app, wants to be on the phone. And that's his preference. And that's okay. It doesn't make him a bad guy. It is not a red flag. It is simply two differences, right? You prefer one thing, he prefers the other. So how do you stand by that? How do you stand by that boundary and that preference? You simply say, I understand. I can understand that. And for me personally, I prefer to spend a little bit more time getting to know. You're basically reiterating what you said. I prefer to spend a little bit more time getting to know someone before I give out my phone number. It's just a personal preference. That way he knows it's not personal against him. It has nothing to do with him. This is your boundary, your standard. Okay. Let me see another one. Let me see. This is why I like I like not just good examples, but your examples, because then I can give you the languaging so that for the next time, if this comes up, you go, oh, that's what God was talking about on the love chat. Okay. Let me see. What's another one? So let's say that you have gotten to know him, right? And you move on to the phone and or he says, maybe you're still on the app and he says right away, oh, I'd like to take you out to dinner this weekend. And you've just started talking. You really haven't gotten to know him yet. You haven't even had a phone conversation, an actual phone conversation, because we just said you're going to wait, right? So you could say once, let's say you've spent about a week on that. And these aren't rules. These are just what we've seen has worked. Okay. It works for you to slow down, not rush into anything, not get too attached to one person that you don't even know, who's basically a stranger, giving yourself time to get to know him, giving him time to get to know you. And then you could decide, okay, I would like to speak on the phone. So let's say somebody wants to ask you out right away. You can say, I prefer to have a couple of conversations before meeting in person. That is so clear. It has nothing to do with him. You're not saying, you know what, you're asking me too soon. I don't even know you. What are you talking about? We haven't even had a phone conversation. None of that energy is here. It's, that would be really nice. You could say, if he says, I'd love to take you to dinner this week, and say, you know what, dinner would be really nice. And I like to have a few conversations with someone before meeting in person. Again, this is not a rule for him to follow. It's not even a rule for you to follow. It's simply a way to express that you'd like to have a conversation. Why? There are some women, and they might be here, who say, I don't go out with, what is it? I don't give anybody my phone number until they ask me out on a date. Again, a high value woman values her time, who she's going to meet. She values her safety. I don't know who this person is. I'm not saying he's a mass murderer. I'm just like, I don't know who he is. He literally is a stranger. We get to take a little bit of time getting to know each other on the phone. We get to take a little bit of time, on the app. Then we get to take a little bit of time getting to know each other on the phone. And by the way, a phone call can be a phone call. It can be a video call. If you don't have FaceTime or that option, I know not everybody has an iPhone, but a video call option. You can do that through other apps like WhatsApp. You can do that. You don't even have to give your actual phone number. When you give out a phone number, you can get a Google number. And a Google number is a number that will actually, it'll ring on your phone. You can get text messages on your phone, but it's a separate phone number that gets directed to your phone so that you're not giving your personal phone number information that might be, what's the word? It might be attached somewhere online to your home address or where you work, and you don't necessarily want somebody, that woman or man that you're just meeting, to know where you live, where you work, and all of that. So you can say that you love to have a video chat. A video chat is really good because I like them, because you get to see the person, you see body language, you see smiles, you get to kind of look into each other's eyes, even though you're not face to face. It's a little bit more personal. So if you wanted to start first with a phone call and then a video call, that allows you, again, you're giving yourself time to get to know him and giving him time to get to know you. And you are still honoring your value of respect, breaking the pattern of getting attached too quickly or rushing into anything too quickly. And you're doing what dating is, which is getting to know someone well enough to know if you want to keep getting to know them. That's all dating is. And we recommend, for those of you who are new, because I see a few new names here, welcome. We recommend that you are having these conversations with 3 or 4 people, because again, you won't get attached to anyone. You're just getting to know people. Like if you were, I don't know, sitting at a round table and there's different conversations happening. Okay. So this is all about, remember, I'm going to keep using the words standards, boundaries, and values. It starts with your values. So your values are the most important thing. It's what you live your life by, right? Love, respect, peace, generosity, whatever your values are. From the values come your own preferences and your boundaries that you're expressing. And then you're the one who gets to honor them. The man doesn't have to do anything. You're honoring your boundaries. You're honoring your standards. If the other person doesn't agree, no harm, no foul. It's okay. It's just not a match. And that's all right. Nobody's a bad guy. Okay. Let me see. What? Now I got lots of comments. Thank you, ladies. It makes a difference. Now I feel like I'm not talking to myself for the sake of talking to myself. And anybody who hasn't put in a question because you maybe jumped in, it's what is a standard or a boundary that you sometimes feel like you're being pressured, and how do I stand by that? Right? We're going from the very beginning, and then we'll get to the physical intimacy. Don't worry, we've got a little bit of time left. Okay. So as I look over here at the comments, I see, let me see, even if he wants to be exclusive very quickly. So now let's say that you've been on the app, right, for a little while, you've talked on the phone, maybe you've had a video conference call, he's asked you out, right? He's asking you out. So let's say if he says, you know what, why don't I cook you dinner? Why don't you come to my house and I'll cook you dinner? A high value woman would also never just go to someone that she's just getting to know. She would never go into their home or invite a stranger into her home. Why? Again, she values herself. She values her time. She values her safety. She's just getting to know this person. So you could say, here's another way to stand by your values and stand by your boundaries. That's such, and you can always still be gracious and feminine and say, dinner sounds amazing, and I'm sure you're a wonderful cook. When I'm first getting to know someone, I prefer the dates to be out in public before I really don't go over anybody's home or have somebody come over my house until I'm in a committed relationship. What does that say to him? It's not a rule. He starts to see this is a woman who values herself. She's not like, look, men, I'm not making excuses for the men who are inappropriate, but there are many women who are rushing things, and you're the one saying you want to be exclusive, and you're the one asking him out, and you're the one, and it's confusing them to think that women, strong women, driven women, smart, educated, successful, professional women don't want to be courted and wooed and treated like the high value women that they are. We're so used to at work taking control and moving things forward that we get to, as women, We still get to be strong. We still get to be smart. We still get to be the powerful women that we are, and step back so that the man can step up and we can receive versus being in pursuit of someone. Okay. So I do see the other comments, and I addressed one of them a little bit. I'll go into it more deeply. Because if you want to move things along with a man that you have known for a while, here's my question. And I'm saying it with love. There's no sarcasm here. Why do you feel that you're the one that needs to move things forward? Ladies, if you're thinking, I want to move things forward, it's because he's not. And why would you put yourself in that vulnerable situation at risk of being rejected? If a man is not, a man who's truly interested in you, I promise you, you are not wondering if he's interested in you. He's showing you. He's calling you, he's texting you, he's asking you out, he's being respectful, a high quality man. He's being respectful of your boundaries. He'll let you know, man, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I have to wait to meet you. I would love to see you tomorrow. And you can say, I thank you. That's so sweet and kind. It's just something that I do when I meet someone online. Again, it's not about him. And you don't take it personally, and you don't get on the defense, because he's just letting you know his preference, just like you're letting him know yours. And if they don't match, it's not a match, and it's okay. There's a lot of other people. Don't put so much time and energy and attention on the one that's not a match that you're missing, right? You reserve your energy for the men who actually are being generous and respectful and kind and interested. So that's how I would answer that question. So now we're like actually at the point where you're going to accept a date. Just let him know you'd like it to be in public. I want you to think of a woman, when you think of a high quality woman, like a woman that has that elegance and that grace and that confidence, think of that woman in your mind. You could put in the chat too. Think of her, picture her. Does she just go out with anybody, any random person? That woman that you admire, maybe she's a role model. Do you just run? Like, do you see her with any old person? And I'm not talking about what the person does for a living. I'm not talking about any of that, because the chat, a love chat for another day. But I'm talking about, she is selective, not out of arrogance, just out of self-love. I get to know somebody. I get to take the time to know somebody before I give them my number, before I meet them for a date, before I go to their house or they come to my house. This is about how you, especially if you've been not having the experience that you want to have in dating. I know there are some men out there who are saying and doing inappropriate things, and you get to still be that classy, sassy, and highly valued woman, because you value yourself. It's not because men are valuing you. It's because you are valuing you. Okay. Let me see. Give me more questions around standards. What dating apps should I use? I am not being sarcastic again or flippant. I wish I could say this is the one. And what I'll say is that our clients are meeting their boyfriends and husbands everywhere, on Match, on Our Time, on OkCupid, on Silver Singles, on Facebook dating. Yes, Facebook dating, on Tinder, on, I'm just going down the list of Zooks. What's another one? Hinge. Okay, those are, I can't tell you which one is better or worse, because they're meeting them on all of them. The ones that I will tell you, and they are not bad and they are not wrong. And by the way, I don't get sponsored from any of these people. The one that I don't recommend for women who tend to want to take the lead are Coffee Meets Bagel or Bumble, because in that one, the woman takes the lead. So if that's something that you tend to do and you want to have the experience of being pursued, I wouldn't recommend those. Okay. Now let's see. Who else? Okay, hold on. Plenty of Fish, Kim. I have actually had clients. She just popped into my head. One of my clients from many years ago met her husband on Plenty of Fish, and they're still married. And that was many years ago. Let me see. Do I reckon, Miriam? It would just what we recommend, I don't recommend one more than the other because of the fact that there's different apps for different personality types. Like I didn't mention eHarmony. eHarmony takes things a little slower. So some people like that because maybe you haven't dated in a long time and online dating is new to you and you want to take a little bit of more time, eHarmony would work for you. If you what's another one? And now a lot of the apps also have like questions that you get to answer for each other before they actually, give you the opportunity to be like actually matched and connected within the app. So I really can't say, I really can't. I'm not being mysterious or cryptic. It's just there isn't one that it's been like 90% of our clients because it's everywhere. And then we have international clients. There's even other, some people are who are dating exclusively in their religion will do J-date or Christian singles, and then there's so many others. So that would be once ladies start working with us, what usually happens is we recommend, and you could do this too, to be on 2 or 3 of them so that you can see which one, on which one A, do you like the process of matching and being matched better, and then B, on which one are you having more success, meaning meeting guys who are more aligned with your values and you're enjoying getting to know the men on that platform. So I would recommend 2 or 3, and then of the ones that I said, and then look to see which ones. What I don't recommend, because I said Facebook dating is different than you're on Facebook. Just yesterday in front of my husband, I showed him three different men who, when you click on my profile, the very first thing that you see is a picture of me, my husband, and my children. But those random messages out of nowhere that I've been wanting to reach out to you, I saw your profile, I'm a little embarrassed or unsure, I don't know if you would friend me. I'm like, if you had really gone to my profile, you would see that I'm married. It's inappropriate to reach out to me. And I get this on Facebook, I get this everywhere, and it's not because I'm not a diva. It's just there's people who are doing that. And I said to my husband, and my husband said, I wonder if women ever fall for that. I'm like, unfortunately, love, they do. Thank God for the ones who are working with us, and we're able to tell them, hold on, how did you meet this person? Oh no, I was talking to him, but then he introduced me to his friend. No, that's a scam. Like, I'm not even going to get into the scams. We'll do another one on scams. But my recommendations are, when you are on these apps, come back and watch the replay. And by the way, the replays on Facebook are now being taken down after 30 days. So if you know that you might not be dating in the next 30 days, or you might want to come back, make sure you join our YouTube channel, because on YouTube we post it. Actually, it's probably streaming there right now as well, and you'll be able to go back to it. Okay, we have to say that now because it used to be that Facebook kept them forever and ever, amen, and that's no longer the case. All right, let me see. I gotta go fast. I got 2 minutes. By the way, I'm hearing from everyone, my God, this is such good advice, and thank you, and you're welcome to those of you who have said thank you. If what I'm sharing with you is something that's resonating with you, it's having you think, because I'm about to go into the biggie one about him wanting to be exclusive right away, or him wanting to become physically intimate. So stay tuned. But let me just say this. If what I'm saying is something that is resonating with you, and you know that you're ready to go deeper, that there are patterns that you want to break through, that you're doing 5 of the things that I said not to do, you're doing them, or you're so unsure about dating that you haven't dated for a long time and you don't really know where to start, or maybe you're coming out of a heartache, right? Maybe you've had a breakup and you're wanting to heal from that and start dating I was going to say the right way, but it's not even the right way. It's the way that works, which is the way that we teach, is successfully dating, right? Having not only learning the skills, but having the support. Go ahead and click on the link that we're going to drop down there. And if you've never, ladies, listen, if you have never, ever had an opportunity to speak with one of our love breakthrough coaches, right? Go ahead and click on the link and schedule a love breakthrough session so that you can come with your questions, your specific questions, And what we're going to do is we're going to look at what are your love goals. What had, like some people were saying, like, I'm not meeting the right man. I keep attracting the same kind of man. It's, I don't know how to date. Then you bring that to the call. We look at what your goals are. We look at what might be getting in the way, like what are some of the challenges that you're experiencing when it comes to love, to dating, to relationships. By the way, I know we're talking about dating, but we do work with girlfriends and wives too, because once you meet them, you want to keep them, right? You want to keep that love alive. So you can go ahead and click on that link and schedule a love breakthrough session that's going to help you to identify what are some of the blocks that you want to get out of the way, so you can confidently and easily attract the man, the love, the relationship that you really want. Okay, so let me go to the question that I saw about moving very quickly into wanting to be exclusive. Like the man your experience is that he's wanting to move very quickly into being exclusive. So the first thing, and that's at some point towards the end, Diane, let's also drop, or maybe now, the link to our YouTube channel, just because I don't know that everybody knows our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's say that you've gone on a few dates, or one date, or you're on the phone, and he's like, look, I only date one person at a time. So if I'm gonna take you out, you can only date me. Sometimes they say it that directly. Sometimes they're like, I don't like playing games. I only date one woman at a time. I only want to date a woman who's dating one man at a time. I know that just because I've been doing this for so many years, I know that the female instinct is to say, oh, he only wants to date me. Well, you are a stranger that he does not know. He just doesn't want to date more than one person. And he's talking to you right now. So he may say that. But what happens is when you only date one person at a time, like I said before, you're either getting too emotionally attached to that person, which means you are investing a lot of time, energy, and attention, which can be confused for I'm in a relationship, and you're not. It's a stranger you're getting to know. So you're putting in time, energy, attention, and affection as if you are in a relationship, and you're not. And that's why sometimes it can feel like and maybe this is your pattern. You meet someone, you get into a relationship, 3, 7, 9 months, 2 years go by. And then what do you have to do? If it doesn't work out, start all over again. I know it can feel, when somebody says that, of course it can feel like a compliment, but it can also feel like, whew, I don't have to date other people. And you feel like it's going faster. You're actually costing yourself more time by dating one person for an extended period of time, figuring out that that's not the one, then dating somebody else for an extended period of time, finding out that's not the one. It's what makes you feel frustrated and anxious and not excited about dating. Okay, so we want to teach you how to date in a way that makes it fun and exciting, and that you're not getting attached and you're not repeating the patterns that didn't work with other people, because changing a partner doesn't change your pattern. Okay, so you would just say to somebody, if he's saying that, say, I understand, I respect that. I respect that that's your choice. Right now, I'm talking to and getting to know different people until I am ready to be in a committed relationship with someone, or in an exclusive relationship. And he might say, well, why can't we get in an exclusive relationship now? Well, I'm enjoying getting to know you, but I don't know you very well. And you probably don't know me very well, because we've only been talking for a little while. So I choose to take things a little more slowly. I want you to go back to the video and replay what I just said. And you will hear that the only time I said the word you, Y-O-U, was when I said, I hear you and I respect that. And then I also said, when I said, and you don't know me, like I don't know you very well and you don't know me. So that's just my preference. I understand that not everybody agrees with that. Step back. He's not a bad guy if he doesn't go for it. He might have, his own opinions or his own wounds and his own patterns, and it may just not be a match. Okay. So that's the exclusivity. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty one, which is where maybe you feel like, and this is why everything is tied together. You're going to see how it all comes together in this beautiful package. If you take your time on the app, take your time getting to know the person on the phone, Take your time getting to know the person on public dates, nobody's house, nobody's car, right? We're out in public where emotions and hormones and all that stuff doesn't can't get carried away. And you're taking your time and you're dating multiple people, and then you start to feel like things are moving, like maybe at the good night kiss, maybe you're not ready for a good night kiss on the first date. You can say, I'm having a wonderful time, I really am. You always want to let him know if it's true, right? I really am enjoying getting to know you, I'm just not ready for a kiss. What the man will start to see, if you keep honoring yourself, is you start to stand out as someone who truly values, honors, and respects herself. And if you want to attract a man who truly honors, values, and respects you, that's where it begins. Expecting someone to honor, respect, prioritize you, love you more than you do those things for yourself it's unfair. And it's really not going to give you the results that you want, because it's unfair to expect somebody to love you, prioritize you, honor you, respect you more than you do for yourself. You teach people how to treat you. And when you're speaking in this way, and we teach women how to have every single conversation down to what about if there's an STD? What about if, like, all of that, right? How to express that once you have gotten to know each other, and once you're in an exclusive relationship, that doesn't mean you have to be physically intimate the first day. You could say, before I become physically intimate with someone, it's important to me to know that, like, I've been tested, I can provide my results, and it's important for me to know where the other person is regarding that test. Some of you are like, no man's going to stand for that. Well, the right man will. And it's not him. He doesn't have to stand for that. You do, right? But not from an entitled place, not from a condescending place, not from a controlling, demanding place, from a beautifully feminine, empowering, and high value place, right? So if you're feeling like every time you go out with someone, you feel like you need 7 more hands because it's like, right? Like you got to learn like the Karate Kid, then, then you may have to say, you know what? I actually had this conversation with my husband when we were first dating. I said, you know what? I am very attracted to you, and I am having a wonderful time getting to know you. And I don't want to feel like I have to keep, managing myself and, and bringing things, down a couple of levels every time we're together, because I really am getting to know you. I really do want to keep getting to know you. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for a relationship yet. And I'm not ready for that yet. And did he agree with me? Absolutely not. It wasn't like he was like, yay, I feel the same exact way. No, but he was like, all right, well, these words, I'm not used to that. He had never dated me before, a woman like me. And he's like, and I do want to keep getting to know you. So, I'll just have to control myself. And I said, and that's why I was trying, I was saying that I wanted public dates and things like that, because I knew that it was getting a little bit harder, right? We were starting to really like each other. And, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I'm not a clone. I'm not an android. And so, but it wasn't his job to make sure that I was honoring my boundaries. It was my job to honor my boundaries. So at no point did I feel like he was pressuring me, or I was a victim to his, I almost said the S word, prowess or anything like that. The reason I don't say is because Facebook will take it down. It's not because I'm a Puritan from the 1920s. They'll take the word down if you use it. So I knew that I was liking him. I knew I found him attractive. I knew we were having such a great time together. It was up to me. It was up to me. So if you've been feeling like you're attracting men where you feel like you're being pressured into something before you're ready for it, or that you're doing it because you don't want him to leave you, or you don't want him to stop liking you, then you definitely get to schedule a love breakthrough session, because there isn't anyone who can make you, aside from if the person is someone who assaults women, there isn't any reason for you to feel pressured. And if you're in a public place, you're safer. And you have your phone with you. You can always call an Uber, even if he picked you up. By the way, you can wait to have him pick you up at your home until you are in a relationship. Because not everybody, if they don't need your phone number, they certainly don't need your address, right? So you can, until you're really ready for that. It's not about being afraid, ladies. It's about being smart and just knowing that this makes me feel better. I can be more myself. I can feel like I'm not rushing into anything. It's what works for me. And then you communicate that in a beautifully feminine, strong way where he's like, wow, I respect her. I may not agree with that. I want to be with her right now. Like I want to take her home right now. And I got to respect that. And the right man will. I promise you the right man will. We've just had way too many women who have worked with us, hundreds of women who tell us the same thing. They say, he did ask me to be his girlfriend. If you think men don't do that, they do. They still do. So I'm going to cut this. I'm not sure because we've actually gone 10 minutes over, but I did want to give you a lot of different examples based on what you were asking. And I may have, if I missed a question, I'll come back. Let me see. So if somebody was pursuing you heavily, and that happens sometimes at the beginning, different people have different personalities. Some men tend to be slower. Some men tend to be faster. I have a client who's feeling like the guy's taking too long, right? So thank God she has a coach, because we're like, simmer, who else are you dating? Who else are you giving the ability to get to know you and giving yourself the ability to get to know? You can keep dating him and dating other people. You're not cheating on anyone unless you're in a relationship, right? But if somebody's pursuing you and they've already asked you to be exclusive, did you wait until you knew him well enough to be exclusive? Did you wait long enough to know the personality, right? Sometimes when people are excited at the beginning, they go really fast, and then maybe there's an argument or there's a disagreement, and it doesn't have to be big. It does not have to be big. And then you stop communicating. I'm reading the question, and they come back and they're piecemealing the conversation. If the conversation is not a conversation where you are getting to know him better and he's getting to know you better, and you're feeling, right, like if there is a possibility for a relationship, it's because there are signs. And if piecemeal isn't the sign for you, again, how many other people are you talking to? How many other people are you dating? If this is the only person that you're talking to, ladies, you are going to get attached, and you're going to want to make that one work. And you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to control something that's not under your control, because there's two people involved. And you're also cheating yourself out of seeing if there's somebody who you do get to know well enough, who both of you would like to be in an exclusive relationship, and there's none of this piecemealing drama, any of it, right? So yes, there could still be a possibility for a relationship, and you should still be talking to and dating other people. The moment that we as women stop dating other people, we start trying to do everything to make that one work. And that's where you feel like you lost yourself in relationships, like you're pretzeling yourself to be someone that he will choose. You're waiting around to be chosen instead of remembering that you're the chooser. So those are the sticky points, right? The things that will have it be hurtful, hard, not fun, disappointing. Okay. So you don't get a man to start pursuing you again. If you have to get someone to pursue you, you are controlling. If you have to get someone to do something, it means they are not doing it on their own. So my recommendation is what I said probably 20 minutes ago. Step back. When you're like this, trying to make something happen, right? I want you to think about it like this. If you stay here, there is no place for either one of you to go. You're just going to keep bumping up against each other. But if you step back, there are three choices this man can make. He can stay right where he is, and that's his choice. He can step further back, and that's his choice, or he can step forward. But there is no space for him to pursue you if you are trying to make it work or trying to get him to. Step back. He can stay here. That's his choice. And it's also your choice to fill this space with other people that you're talking to. And if he chooses to step up, he's going to be one of the ones trying to take you out, one of the ones wanting to call you, one of the ones having great conversations with you. You're attached. And that's what happens when you're only dating one person. Okay. So now I'm for real saying goodbye. Michelle says this is the Cuban goodbye when I say I'm going to leave and then I don't. so now I'm really saying goodbye. For those of you who are not clients, if you've never had a love breakthrough session, please take advantage of that gift that we give. We don't always have spots available, but when there are, you want to make sure you click on that link and you give yourself that gift. If you're a client and you have access to us, bring your question to either our group forum, or if you've got private access to Michelle and myself, reach out to us there, and we're going to continue supporting you and leading you, leading you, guiding you as you take the steps in the direction of your dream. All right, this was fun because you all were participating. So thank you. And until our hearts meet again, always remember that you are loved. Bye for now.